And we're back after a little technical difficulty. All right, so I just wanted to show you how awesome these siege engines look when they're in play. So I'll kind of show you first. This is the siege tower. And you can see when it goes up to a castle, it goes right up to the second floor of that castle. So you can kind of see, I'll give you a nice shot there. The bridge of the siege tower just leads the units right into the second tier of the castle. Or if you have a tower as well, check this out, same thing. It goes right up over top of that tower, letting those units just storm right in. It's pretty freaking sweet. Here are the here's the ballista. So you can see how sweet that looks. And the catapult. Check that out. These just turned out so great, and when they're in play on the board, it just comes to life so nicely. And you can see that the air vessels stand taller than the castle, so they really come up off the board. Everything really comes to life. Okay, so I wanted to give you a close-up on that. I wanted to show you also a close-up of the wood bits before I put it all away, and then I'm going to show you kind of how it all goes back in the box. So let me flip some of these over here and show you. The green ones in here as well. So check that out. You'll see that the score tokens for the factions, which are these ones, they've got the factions emblem just screen printed right on the token. On the back it says 50 plus for when you score over 50 points. And then you'll see these resource bits even have a real subtle screen printing on them to give them some depth and a really nice layer of realism there. And then here's the really cool first player token, Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea branded. It's in the shape of the logo, so this will be passing around the game. Alright, so let me show you how this all fits back in the box, no problem. Alright, so let me just put these undead away, and bear with me here, I'm going to move the camera so you can get a little bit of a nicer shot here. So not of the ceiling, but there we go. Just pull that out, give me a nice little screen to show you the boxes, and then I'll show you putting all the pieces away. Okay, so let me just get these snapped back into their spots. Go in nicely like that. When you hear the snap, you know you got them right back into place, and then they're not going to be falling out or anything. Okay, so there you go. And then you just pull this down. Okay, so we'll put away the expansion first. Okay, so in these little wells at the top of the trays, I put the cards. So I've got the wood bits as well as the mercenary cards, because I keep the mercenaries in the expansion box. And then that just fits right down into the bottom there. And then up here, I've got the hero cards as well as the tactic cards. This tray just nestles in right on top of the first tray, and then the cover goes over top of that. So that's how you start. And then the board, so we got the two-fold board for the expansion, and that just folds over, fits nicely, fills the box like so. And then after that comes player boards. So the 4 expansion player boards. We'll just set those in there like this. Just get this a little bit higher. Alright, there we are. And then because of the kind of the height of this tray, which is for Balador and Neckmaster Sid mercenaries, I put this not on top of the player boards, but just directly on top of the game board, and then it stays under the top of the lid of the box. All right. And then on top of there, we'll put the Mercenary Pack 1. That'll go there. So many constructs. Just so many awesome things in this game. So for the constructs, I take like the 2 air vessels and I kind of forward and back. I kind of like nestle them into each other like this. They fit really nice that way, and then that kind of holds them in place. The helicopter is a little tall, so I go directly on top of the board instead of on top of the player boards, and that keeps it under the lip of the box. And then these I just kind of go opposite like that, kind of just nestle them in, and then they just fit right in there perfectly. And then there we go. Here's the Lions boat. Let's see how sweet that is. The Lionkin Longship turned out really, really nice. Okay, and we'll just nestle that guy in as well. And then you got all the towers. The towers you can just fit right on top of the player boards. There's going to be 12 towers, 3 per faction, so they can just go right in like such. Here we are, just put those all in. And then the castle pieces, you got 3 tiers for the castles for each faction. So those you can just set in there. The expansion has a little bit of additional room after everything's put in. Doesn't quite take up as much as the base game. But there you go. So that's everything back in the expansion box. So we'll put the lid back on, and that is everything for the Order and Chaos expansion. So we'll set that aside, and then we'll bring over the base game, and I'll show you how this all goes back in. So same kind of thing. I've got the elves and the dwarves, and then the cards, spell cards, the solo action cards. So you get a whole deck of cards just for the solo play. And then I also put the Siege Engine equipment in here because I store that in this box. So there we go. And then on top of that goes the humans and the orcs. And then they've got the tactic cards, the exploration tokens, as well as the wood bits for the base game. And then those just go right on top. And then inside, then this goes on top as well. This is the cover for the minis trays. Okay, and then from there, next I do the rule books. I just kind of set them up to the top there. And then the 4 player boards for the base game factions. Up there, and then I just kind of tuck the Nomad rules just like that, just down in underneath there. And then the Nomads, I keep them in the base game. I just kind of set them on top of the player boards, that's fine. And then same thing that I was doing with the expansion with the 2 like air vessels and stuff. I just kind of marry them together like that, and you kind of see I just kind of hug them together and set them down inside there. It'll help keep them in place and helps make sure they stay under the lid of the box. Same kind of thing with the boats. I just take the boats and just kind of marry them together, and you can see how they go together really nice like that, and then I just kind of set them in. There's the Elven Corsair. Very elegant and magical looking. So I'll just kind of tuck that guy in like that. And you got a ton of towers again. You got 12 more towers for the base game. So those can all set in on top here. Set the human airship down in there. Okay, and then we got to get the castle pieces in. And I noticed that the stands, they fit right over top of the castle pieces. It's pretty cool. So I just put them just like that and just set those in there, and it kind of holds the stands nicely in place as well. So those go down in there. And the rest of the castle pieces, there's plenty of room left up here for those. And then the siege equipment. You'll have 6 constructs for the siege equipment. They'll have 2 siege towers, 2 catapults, and 2 ballistae. Alright, set those in there. Okay, so there you are. So that's everything back. Oh, I forgot the whole freaking board. So this goes on top of the miniatures, underneath the player boards. I think I can probably smoothly wiggle this in there. Maybe. It may not be as easy because of the constructs, but we'll see. I'm going to give it a try. You don't want to leave the board outside the box. So there we go. Not too bad. Alright, so there we go. So we got everything back into the base game box. Nice and perfect. So there you are, everybody. That is the show and tell of the production samples of Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. And yeah, if you got all in, you can expect to get 5 boxes, the 2 core boxes, all the promos, the mats, the card sleeve pack, which I don't have a sample of yet, so I don't have a sample to show here, but when I get one, I'll definitely be showing it off in a future update. All right, hope you enjoyed that, and I will be back as things progress with production. Great news is we're right on time for the estimated delivery that we set for March, so things are moving along smooth and perfect. Thanks again, guys, and we'll talk to you soon.